Wille. She is a senior researcher with the Conflict and Crisis Division over at Human Rights Watch. She joins us now for more. Belkis, good to have you on the show. I want to talk to you about this Afghan woman and the level of stress that she was under. I mean, there must be tremendous pressure on her, and it really must be affecting her mental health state. I mean, if she goes ahead to set herself on fire while she's pregnant, and I believe her other children outside of the tent in that camp.
Absolutely. I mean, what you're capturing in this specific case is something that we have seen, unfortunately, for years now among the refugee and asylum seeker populations on the Greek islands, living in absolutely horrific conditions for years on end, not knowing when they are going to have their asylum claims addressed. And I would add that the camp that she was in until very recently on Lesvos, it had 17,000 people living there. It was a camp built for 2,500 people. So you can only imagine the squalid and difficult conditions that she and many others were living in. And of course, as someone taking care of a family, she must have been really driven to the edge.
Already horrific conditions, you say, and these conditions at these camps presumably only gotten worse with these draconian-style measures implemented since the beginning of the pandemic.
Absolutely. COVID-19 measures in Greece have hit migrants, asylum seekers, and refugees perhaps the hardest, where entire camps have been put for months on end on lockdown. Residents of the camps have not been allowed to leave on a daily basis and have been severely restricted in their movements. And organizations getting access to the camps to provide services has also been limited. And I would say, of course, the Greek population has had movement restrictions since COVID-19 hit the country. But for people in the camps, the situation has been dramatically worse. And these are camps that have limited access to healthcare, limited access to even running water, to do simple things like washing your hands.
Belkis, I'm not sure if this is the same camp, but also in one of your latest reports, you've highlighted the possibility of the Greek government sort of downplaying a potential health risk, that being lead poisoning because of a migrant camp built in part on top of a former firing range on the island. Tell us about that and the risks involved.
Absolutely. So this woman, as far as we understand, was in a camp on Lesvos, the one that had been built for 2,000 and something people, was housing 17,000, and that burnt down in September. Immediately, the government moved the residents of that camp, who were then rendered homeless, to a new site. And the site that they chose was a Ministry of Defense a military site that had been, among other things, in part, a firing range in use since 1926. Now, firing ranges are well-known sources of contamination of lead. Lead is in bullets. Lead is in a range of other munitions that you find at firing ranges. And that lead lands on the ground and it becomes dust. And if that dust gets ingested, people suffer from lead poisoning. And now this site is a camp that is housing thousands of people, including young children who are playing in the dust and potentially exposed to lead contamination.
Just another thing to watch out for. All right, Belkis, thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. I do appreciate your time.